Today I'm at Clark Mine, just outside of Copper Harbor, Michigan, way up in the very far northern tip of Michigan, top of the Keweenaw. This is a special place. I love this place. I've been coming here since I was president of the geology club at Michigan Tech, way back in the early 2000s. But as you can see behind me, it's a pretty small spot, which is curious because I remember this being one of the largest mine dumps I'd ever been to. I mean, acres upon acres, hundreds of acres. You could walk the mine dump for days and never encounter the same rock twice. That's not what we're seeing here, so what's the deal? What happened here? Well, come join me and find out. I'm Craig the Geologist. Clark Mine is an expansive location with limited access. And in fact, I should be saying the Clark Mine area because about midway through this video, there's going to be a big twist. But we'll leave that for then. I'm not going to give you exact directions to Clark Mine. I don't feel like trying to encourage it being overrun, but it's easy to find if you're determined. Now, it's not on your way to anything. It's just a couple of miles outside of Copper Harbor, Michigan. Copper Harbor, right at the tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula. It's a really remote area to get to, but gorgeous. I mean, if you're going to Copper Harbor, make sure you visit Brockway Mountain and a few of the other sites in the area. They're spectacular. If you want to get here, just go up Manganese Road. That'll take you past the Lake Fanny Hoke campground and through it, past Manganese Falls, past Lake Manganese, and there are signs posted. They'll take you down a dirt track. It's pretty well maintained to Clark Mine. It's also very near to Estevant Pines, which is a preserved old growth forest that is just a fantastic place to take the family for a hike. As you can see though, for a big mine dump, there are a lot of trees and not a lot of exposed rocks. That didn't used to be a problem, but it is now. Not a problem for the environment. It's great news for the environment, but a bit of a problem for us. Anyway, let's drop on in and have a look. One awesome thing about coming out here, especially in early August, is that it coincides with the ripening of the thimbleberries. See if I can get this in here to show it, and I can't. These thimbleberries only ripen for a couple of weeks in early August. They fall apart when you pick them. Very tart, less tart than a raspberry though. Similar flavor, less acidic, less tart. You'll probably figure out why they're called thimbleberries. You can put them on your finger just like a thimble. But they're all over out here, and it looks like they're just beginning to ripen. There's a local group of monks that make a thimbleberry jam that sells for a fortune. People come from hours away to buy the thimbleberry jam and for an opportunity to pick thimbleberries. Well, out here, you can go rock collecting. It has a perk. Grab yourself a thimbleberry. Thimbleberries can only be found in this part of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and in some parts of Washington State, Oregon, and Idaho, I believe. They were stranded here by the retreating glaciers. And so it's just an isolated pocket of them out here. They'll make your fingers look like you murdered someone though after you've picked a handful of them. All right, I'm out with Todd Warner. You might remember him from my video. He took me to Nether's Farm out in Ohio, looking at the flints out there. And he found this beautiful piece of calcite there. And I believe the dark veining material between it is chalcocite, although I'm not 100% sure. No, it's not. It's manganite. I'd like to look into that a little bit later. But you can find some beautiful pieces of that stuff out here in this location. Let me see that. That is a good sized thimbleberry. How's it taste? Nice thing about thimbleberry season is if you're bringing your family along, they don't have to care about the rocks. There's thimbleberries to be found. What we got here? Big piece of calcite here. Oh wow, Todd's got a big one here. Yeah, that's real interesting. I love the look of that because it's not like it's just one giant calcite crystal. It's just hundreds of thumb-sized calcite crystals that are kind of glued together by these, what I'm going to call calcite veins. It's definitely not. It's manganite, but could very easily be something else. Great find.
Here.
Oh, you were showing me some that you said were pretty much pure quartz.
It's right in that pile.
I don't think this is quartz though. I think this is probably calcite here. There's lots of calcite out in this area. And it's not normal looking calcite either. It's curious calcite is what I like to call it. Here's a piece of curious calcite here. Definitely calcite. You can see from all the cleavage planes and whatnot. I believe the Clark mine was mining copper in the form of chalcocite. And so I think I am probably being correct in saying that the black material between the calcite is chalcocite. I really wish I didn't say that so many times. It's manganite. All right, so I need to explain how I misidentified this mineral and also even misidentified the location. So bear with me here. My first time out there collecting, you find lots of calcite with this black material between it. And I was a little bit mystified by what the black material is. It looked slightly metallic, but it didn't have a real metallic luster. And it's real dark black. And so I kind of wondered what that would be. Well, I wasn't sure. Well, I was talking to somebody else about chalcocite, which is a gorgeous silvery metallic mineral that you find out around the Keweenaw. It's a copper mineral. And I'm like, here, take a look at the guidebook here. And the guidebook says, oh, it's black, it's rough, it's real dull looking, kind of looks like garbage. The guidebook didn't say it looked like garbage, but that's the summary of it. It's not beautiful. And I'm like, well, hold on, I've got gorgeous silvery metallic chalcocite here. What are you doing telling me that chalcocite is kind of a garbage looking black, massive, gross looking mineral? I talked to my old friend, Sean Carlson, about it, and he told me that, okay, well, yeah, you're right. You haven't been misidentifying chalcocite. It's just the chalcocite in the Keweenaw is like some of the best chalcocite in the world. It's gorgeous, it's crystalline. Most places, it's massive and dark and it's garbage, something you wouldn't be interested in collecting. Okay, problem solved. So now I'm out here and I know that in the area nearby, not necessarily at this location, but at lots of mines just a few miles away, they were targeting the area for copper mining, looking at the chalcocite. Instead of looking for the native copper, they were mining chalcocite. And I said, well, I haven't seen the chalcocite from those mines that are nearby. Maybe that chalcocite that they're trying to mine is the garbage looking black chalcocite, because chalcocite is copper ore. Maybe the really nicely beautiful crystalline stuff in other places isn't really a good ore material. Maybe it's hard to process. Maybe they're targeting black garbage at these places. And I don't know. I'm still not familiar with those sites myself. And so I looked at this. I said, well, all right, it makes sense that this is probably chalcocite in here. This is a copper mine. We're at the Clark Copper Mine. They're looking for copper, and I bet this is just black, massive, ugly calcite. So that's it. And I wasn't 100% sure about that. So of course, every time I mention it in the videos, I say, oh, I think this is calcite. I'm pretty sure this is calcite. But I was talking about it with a friend a little bit later. And this guy is a smart guy, but not a geologist. But help me kind of take another look at it. He said, well, I don't think that's calcite, is it? You know, it doesn't match all the rest of the calcite in the Keweenaw. I'm like, no, I've noticed that. It doesn't look like the rest of the calcite I've seen. But, you know, it kind of matches up with the guidebooks. And I'm not doing scratch tests and all the other testing for that. I'm just doing lazy identification. What does it look like? He says, well, there's a manganese exploration pit nearby, isn't there? I'm like, yeah, just within a mile of it, there's a manganese exploration pit. He's like, and isn't this like a mile away from Manganese Falls? I'm like, yeah. He's like, doesn't this kind of look like manganese oxide? Doesn't it look like a manganese mineral? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look like real good quality manganite, but maybe massive ugly manganite, same way I would say massive ugly calcite. It could be massive. He's like, and this is next to Lake Manganese, right? I'm like, yeah. So like, do you think the manganese looking mineral that is near the manganese exploration pit and near Manganese Falls, right next to Manganese Lake, might be manganese? Yeah, it could be. I think we solved it. And then just last night, I was looking at the location a little bit more. I considered this location to be part of Clark Mine because Clark Mine was a pretty big site that I used to visit. But in fact, this location we've been visiting isn't actually part of Clark Mine or the Clark Mine tailings. This is a separate mine that was named the Manganese Mine. You'll never believe what they were mining there. I'll give you a second. All right, if you said manganese, you're correct. So yes, this is a manganese mineral. It is very likely to be manganite. Could be something else. I haven't tested it. But every time I say, I'm pretty sure this is calcite, disregard that. We're going to call it manganite. Makes me wonder about some of the reds in here, though. With all the manganese in here, I wonder if there could be a bit of rhodochrosite, because a manganese carbonate, calcite is calcium carbonate. Manganese carbonate is rhodochrosite. These are definitely not nice rhodochrosite crystals, but there is this pinkish coating on it. But yeah, so this video titled Clark Mine isn't even about Clark Mine. We're at the manganese mine. And I found this mine very much by accident because I thought I was exploring more of Clark. As I will talk about later in this video, a lot of the tailings piles that I used to visit have been reclaimed by the forest. It is not the same site that I remember from 25 years ago. And so I was looking for all the extensive tailings piles. And I drove way back there and I found this spot where there were pits and diggings. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do some collecting here. And that's where I found all this weird stuff. I'm like, wow, don't remember finding this at Clark Mine in the past. There's a reason I don't remember that, because I had never gone to the manganese mine. Sometimes you just luck your way into awesome things if you're willing to drive and explore a little bit. All right, what did we find up here, Joey? What'd you find here?
Like a dead landscape.
You found, see if I can get put the rock in focus here. You found a piece of slag. So slag is what you get when you burn coal to power a steam engine. And so there's probably some steam engine machinery out here working, and that slag from them burning the coal in that. I will edit that coughing out of my video, but yeah, that was good. It's good to show off because people find stuff like that. They don't know what it is.
I found it.
Yeah, you can do that. Hold on to whatever you have to safely climb and move around. Yeah, last time I was here, I collected a lot of this calcite stuff. Now I'm being a little bit more judicious with it.
Kind of reddish. I'll put the coal back.
So the red on that is a rock called rhyolite. There's a lot of these reddish rocks here, and the reds are mostly rhyolite. There could be. I really wonder what they were digging over here. Someone was digging for something. It is. I'm guessing they were going after some good quality calcite in there, but I'm really not sure. Maybe there's dadlite back there or something, but I don't think this is dadlite over here. All right. In addition to all of the thimbleberries out here, got some raspberries too. Of course, these can be found all over Michigan. But
Dad,
yeah.
there's a lot more over there.
Oh my, good eye, Joey. Got a whole.
I think we found a whole raspberry bush over here.
It's all raspberries over here.
Can I go pick some?
Oh, careful! Don't knock it on top of me, bud. Then don't go up that way. If you can't safely go up that way, don't go up that way. Yeah, it does look bluish. No, I don't think it's iron staining. It's just the color of it.
Wait, I made it up here. I made it
Up here.
4. Oh, I found a big one.
You found a big raspberry?
And it fell off.
Fell off. Oh no. Good thing there's about 3 million more to choose from.
Uh-huh. That one fell off from my hand too. Third time, and that was the leaves come off. 4th time to charm.
I need a pocket. I'm collecting too many. I'm collecting too many rocks. I need to start putting them in my pocket.
Now the real question is, how do I get down? Oh, I found a way. A route.
Okay, yep. Take that route.
That's gonna require going from pretty tight gap to the giant wall.
Well, maybe you go a different way. Hey, it's raining. It's raining. Oh, all right. All right, so let's have a look at a few of the awesome pieces I collected this time. The white in there is pretty much all calcite. The black is manganese oxide mineral that we're calling manganite. You can see it's very brecciated. It's been broken apart, and the black material is vein filling. You can see nice cleavage planes and crystal faces on these calcites. Really beautiful stuff. And I love the black manganese in the cracks. It really makes the crystal stand out in some of these samples. That beautiful calcite there. And it's got just a little bit of that red on there. Is that a bit of rhodochrosite on there? I wonder. There's so little on there you wouldn't be able to know for sure without some lab testing. I got some big samples over here. Let's show off a few of those. These ones are a bit more fortified in the black manganese minerals here. Here's a big fella. Look at all that going on in there. I like this just from the, you see the range of things going on. This is definitely basalt in here. And you can see it's kind of been brecciated and filled in with calcite. And the basalt itself has been kind of fortified with the manganese oxide, and the calcite crystals have been lined with the manganese minerals. But I'm also going to cheat and show some of my awesome pieces from the previous time I visited there, because honestly I think some of those pieces are even better. Take a look at this beautiful guy here. The manganese running between all those calcite crystals. Beautiful. Another here. A little bit more of the same here, a lot of manganese in that one. Let's find some more standout beauties here. This one has a lot of red on it. Could it be just fine coatings of rhodochrosite? I'm not sure. There are some red, there are some rare, but also red minerals cited at that location. But without a firm idea on this, I don't like just saying, hey, I bet this is this ultra rare mineral, because ultra rare minerals are ultra rare. So I'm gonna go with something, my guess on this, based on the appearance alone, is that it's probably the more common rhodochrosite. Isn't that spectacular? Gorgeous. All right, not much to see on that side, but yeah, this side there. Would you look at that? Isn't that breathtaking? Let's see here, we got some more here. Nice big crystal face there on that one. Or perhaps just a cleavage plane. Oh, another one of these beautiful kind of jigsaw puzzle looking guys. Isn't that great? Just gorgeous. And you go there and you find so many of these. You're like, well, I've got to, kind of ease back. I don't need to collect a million pieces that all look the same. And they're all so beautiful. It's hard to leave anything behind. Here's a big jigsaw piece. Last couple here. See a lot of the manganese. Where's my finger there? A lot of the manganese here. And more of the same here. It's just amazing stuff. When you walk back through these woods, the rocks become scarce, but they're still around. You get to a place like this and you start to think, well, all right, I've left the mine dump. Well, then you keep going and you encounter more rocks. In fact, under our feet here, there's a few inches of soil and a whole ton of rock pile. So as you can see, nature has reclaimed the Clark Mine tailings pile. It's sad for me because this was one of my favorite places to collect, and I can't do it anymore. At the same time, it's really inspiring to know that these scarred, devastated landscapes, because that's what these tailing piles are, can recover and recover pretty fully. I mean, granted, it took 100-something years for it to recover like this, but it does happen. Given enough time, the earth swallows up everything we leave behind. So, well, there we go. And it's even raining on me right now. We got a sunstorm coming here, a sunny rainstorm, as if to emphasize the point that as much impact as we may have on things in this world, we're but a small part of it. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, get out there, have fun. Woo. It's raining and sunny at the same time. I love it. All right, I'm waiting in line for you to go down the hill, Joey.